that autumn wind. Shout out to the Raiders, man, we about to win.
The way this is going to work, use hashtag Raiders to have your questions featured on air on the Raiders Report, presented by BMW of Santa Maria. And if you're also looking for a nice car, maybe like a Jeep, a Toyota, Community Volkswagen of Santa Maria, which is literally right next door, they got unbelievable deals. Sign, then drive event. That one's going to end January 6th. So first question, Jesse, what's your all-time 5 Raiders? Oh, man. All-time 5 Raiders. I almost feel like I can't put any recent players in. Let's go Jim Otto, Bo Jackson, Stabler, Howie, Charles Woodson. Oh, Tim Brown. Christ. I got to put it down to 5. There's so many. Oh, God. All right, next question. Anthony. What up, Anthony? Also, Jesse, Anthony, good pictures. Mitch, what are your thoughts on Emir Smith-Maretta from Iowa, and should the Raiders go out and get him in the draft? I'll ask my man Tom real quick. Tom, what's your verdict on him? Emir Smith-Maretta. Tom says haven't watched him. So yell at Tom at what going down. Let's go to Edward Lewis. What up, Ed? I'll answer this question like your picture. Now I can't read the question. All right, I won't do that. Do the Raiders try to trade back for more picks or stay with the ones we have? It's a good question. I think the only way the Raiders trade back is if potentially you get somebody who's really trying to maybe jump up for a quarterback that thinks the Raiders could take a quarterback. I don't know what I just did with my cord. All right, whatever. It's stuck. So I think we're going to stay packed with our first rounders. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if maybe with one of our 3 third-rounders, if you see the Raiders potentially go out and maybe try to trade up to get into the second round, if we're really trying to get a player that we want. Let's go to how I picture Dylan being like in, 3 years. Get off my lawn. Would you take... who would you take at 12 if we're on the board? Okay, I like this question. Derek Brown, Tua, Jeudy, or Simmons from Clemson. I don't know why you got an angry face. Is it because you're get off my lawn? If all those players were on the board, I'm taking Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson, because he can do so much. And if you watch this past college football game, where Tom and I were live on our main channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv, dude was playing like safety, corner. He's playing all over the field. That's a Gruden grinder to me. Let's go to Tiger W. Tiggs. Raiders go 12-4 next year. I'm going to give it one Chucky head. I think it's a small shred of truth. Because we're going to go 16-0. That's funny. No, we just got to keep improving, okay? I mean, the fact that we were 7-9, if we don't improve our defense, though, we will be due probably for a little bit of regression. However, I do think the Raiders' schedule is a lot more favorable. Let's continue to see what we build. I mean, we have a lot of money. We have a lot of draft picks. Our home games, I mean, you guys can see them here. We'll just flow through them. If the Raiders can continue to improve, I'm saying like win 9, 10 games, that's what I need. I need improvement because as soon as you start going backwards, that's when people get worried. So the schedule's a lot easier. 127, 129 combined record from our opponents last year. Only 4 playoff teams. I do think the Raiders will be a lot better. Make sure that you guys continue to use hashtag Raiders. Get your questions here live on the Raiders Report. I'm Mitchell Renz. If I miss any of your questions, my Instagram's below. You can hit me up there at MitchellRenz365. I had to turn off my DMs on Twitter, getting too many of them. So now if you want to DM me, the only place to do it is on Instagram at MitchellRenz365. All right, let's get the next question here flowing in while I sip on Grandpa's cough set. Oh, boy, syrup. Do we have anything? No, Voodookin. What up, Voodookin? Bro. Wide receiver first, then linebacker, Murray from Oklahoma. I think Murray from Oklahoma's draft stock has dropped a little bit. I'm not going to just look at what happened this past week against LSU. I mean, Joe Burrow was just incredible. My only thing with wide receiver first is I actually think like linebacker's a little less deep than wide receiver. And if you can go out and get a player like a Henry Ruggs, like a T. Higgins, like a Jerry Jeudy, like a Laviska Shenault with our second first-round pick, guess what? I'd be okay with it. So the next question from Mysterious Matthew, and reminder, Raiders Report presented by BMW of Santa Maria. Now, they don't just sell BMWs, their sister dealership Community Volkswagen right next door, Toyotas, Hondas. Mysterious Matthew, I think you're praying for a car, that's why I told you that. So should we re-sign Washington or draft a backup running back? I think Jalen Richard and Washington, they're both set to be free agents. I think Richard's going to be on his way out. I would probably keep Washington. The reason why I say that is because if something were to happen to Jacobs, Washington proved the last 2 weeks to be a pretty solid backup. I also think, though, that the Raiders should draft a running back, but potentially either in like round 4. Okay, that's probably where I would lean. Maybe round 3, but you could see them even go out and maybe find a running back in free agency. But that's all on if Isaiah Crowell isn't healthy. Remember, the Raiders went out and got Isaiah Crowell earlier in the offseason. He just tore his Achilles. If Isaiah Crowell's healthy, look for the Raiders to stick with Crowell. If he's not healthy, then guess what? They're probably going to go out and get another running back. It's a good question, though. Let's go to Armando. What up, man? Is it a good win total? Well, what is a good win total that would be an accomplishment for 2020? I'll say 9 wins would be an accomplishment. Again, you just got to continue to improve. You can't build Rome in a day. You can't build Rome in a year, right? So, you just got to continue to improve. That's all I'm saying, all right? So how many wins would you want the Raiders to win? You guys can throw that in the comments section. I'll give some shout-outs to some of the people here. Make sure that you guys continue to use #Raiders. I know I'm fading a little bit, but it's been a long week. So let's go to Antonio Nuno. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Antonio. Are you planning to go to the draft? Well, Antonio, I'll be honest with you. I've been thinking about going to the draft. I don't really want to fly there. I kind of want to drive there, but luckily BMW Santa Maria, if you're watching, hey, you can hook me up with a nice new car, and I'll drive my way. So, Matt, Rudy, just saying, today's show presented by BMW of Santa Maria. But seriously, guys, if you need a new car, new deal, hit my guys up. Am I planning to go to the draft? I guess was the original question. I am planning to go. We'll see if I actually get to go. I'd say right now it's about 2 Chucky heads. Maybe if we get some more subscribers, maybe if we get a few deals to go our way, I'll be able to go. So, hey, maybe if somebody buys a car from BMW Santa Maria, I'll be able to go. Let's go to Adrian_AG Raider_ for life. What up, man? How many Clemson football players will the Raiders draft? I mean, last year, we drafted 4? I'll set the over-under at 2.5. I mean, I know John likes Clemson players. I love Isaiah Simmons. I like T. Higgins. I mean, they obviously, what Clemson's doing, what Dabo's doing is the right stuff. I'll put it at 2.5. You guys can say over or under. Let me know. Continue to use #Raiders, or you guys can use the super chat button. That's always works too. Let's go to Jonathan. All right, Jonathan. One more time. Laviska. Terror Dome? Okay, so Jonathan, Laviska, he's my number 5 receiver. He's behind Higgins. He's behind Ruggs. He's behind Jeudy. This is an interesting guy, though, who I think is starting to pop up on some people's boards, especially after the game he had. Jefferson from LSU. Okay, he had an unbelievable game. Yeah, I think he had, 4 touchdowns? 4 touchdowns? Pretty solid player. Now, today's Raiders Report presented by BMW of Santa Maria. If anybody is in the market for a new car, please go hit up my guys, Matt and Rudy, Community Volkswagen, also of Santa Maria, their sister store right next door. They got more than just BMW, so if you want a Honda, Toyota, Jeep, my guys, BMW Santa Maria, go hit them up. Let's go to Aaron Sosa, one of my most loyal watchers. What up, Aaron? What are you sipping on in the pitch? Mitch, will the Raiders draft heavy defense? Man, I hope. I mean, that's where we need to improve, right? Like, everyone's ripping on Carr. Everyone's ripping on our offense for being dink and dunk. Our offense needs to improve. We need to add more speed. But I don't care how good your offense is. If your defense isn't playing well, guess what? You ain't winning many games. Because if you're giving up 28 points per game, it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's go to Xavier Charles. T. Higgins or Henry Ruggs? Before I give you guys my answer, I'll let you decide. Type H for Higgins, type R for Ruggs. Which wide receiver would you rather the Raiders draft? So Ruggs out of Alabama or Higgins out of Clemson? Let me know in the comments section. H for Higgins R for Ruggs. Also, I see the super chat. We'll get to it in a second, my man. No worries. So, Higgins or Ruggs? Type H for Higgins, type R for Ruggs. Fernando says Higgins. Eddie says Ruggs. Robert says Ruggs. Vudakin says Higgins. Both. Scott Moore says Ruggs. Higgins. I'm probably still going to lean Ruggs. And I think that he'd probably be the more likely choice because I know Mayock loves speed. So for now, I'm going to type my R for Ruggs. Let's go to Keith. Keith, appreciate the super chat, my dude. If I hit you up in Vegas, I'll buy the first round. Have a beer tonight on me, and Happy New Year. Well, I'm hoping I can have a beer if my immune system will allow me. I heard tequila is really good for this kind of thing, though, so we'll see. But Keith, man, everyone who's watching the Raiders Report, I want everyone to have a Happy New Year. I appreciate everyone who's always tuning in. I appreciate everyone who's watching. And if you're a subscriber to the show, if you ever see me in person, just be like, show it to me. And as I always say, first round's always on me. Let's go to Mysterious Matthew. What do you think about Carr getting into it with defenders? What do you mean by getting into it? I mean, good. I want to see my quarterback get into it. Like, I want to see Derek have a little bit of fire. Like, I think Derek says the right things. I think Derek does what he's told. I don't want to call him a puppet, but at times he can kind of act like one. If Derek, all right, good soldier is the word Tom's going to use. I do think, though, Derek needs to get a little bit of fire under his butt. I think he does kind of, at times, need to grow a set. But as long as he's wearing silver and black, he'll be my quarterback. And I have no problem whatsoever with any NFL player getting into it. None whatsoever. So, Mysterious Matthew, anybody who's watching the show, we'll get to the super chat there in a sec. If you're going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, hit me up. Okay, I'm going to be there tomorrow, January 1st, if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on loop, well, you might have missed me. Hit me up on IG or on Twitter at MitchellRents365. But I'm going to be at the Ramada Plaza. Throw that in your calendar. Hit me up. I'll be there at 7 p.m. Come grab a beer with me. Let's go to Tedford Von Patriot for the $20 super chat. Tedford, my man, Happy New Year, FAB for all eternity. You know what? You can put FAB on screen, and that's as good enough for me as a super chat. Everyone right now start throwing some FABs because that man is absolutely insane. Sure, he offered to buy Derek Carr's home in Vegas, but can somebody please take away Antonio Brown's Twitter? I mean, oh my goodness, this man is an absolute crazy man. Tedford, though, Happy New Year to you. Greatly, greatly appreciate you. And Tedford, I don't know if you're in the market for a car, but BMW Santa Maria, they're hooking up the nation. So, just saying. So, do you like the Q&As? I know I do a lot of different segments here on the Raiders Report. We do rumors. We do other little segments. If you like my live Q&As, I need you to subscribe to the Raiders Report, okay? We're trying to get to 35K. I like doing the Q&As. I want to continue to do them. But if we don't get more subscribers, we're not going to be able to do the Q&As anymore. So I'm just being front with you, being straight. So subscribe to the Raiders Report, youtube.com/Raiders Report. I want everyone to have a Happy New Year. Send me your pictures of New Year's. Hit me up on IG at MitchellRents365 if I miss any of your questions. But one more time, if you're not subscribed to the Raiders Report, please click that subscribe button. It's big and it's red. If you're colorblind, it's silver and black. Subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.